welcome to another episode of Sasquatch Secrets. So happy you could be here today, and whoa, chat is definitely going today. It is great to see you. I've got a couple people already waiting in the back, so let's bring them on. And it is open discussion, so if you want to join in on that discussion, just let me know and I'll shoot you a link. I'll probably put it in the chat as well. But let me bring on who comes up first. Let's see who I can find first. Hello, Leon. Wake up.
All right.
Time.
Right. Okay. Well, let's talk about the war. Okay, so the show. Right, different show. Sorry. Yeah.
Different, completely different. There.
Right.
Maybe, yeah. We'll move on from that. Let me bring on.
Oh, hi guys.
It's gonna be a goofy, funny show. I have a feeling.
I think so.
I think we're all a little tired. It's one of those hot days, and
Yeah.
I totally flipped the script on the show today. Totally forgot that Steve was going to be doing the Freeman footage with Michael Freeman today after our show. So I was too. So I totally scrapped it and just made a new one, and even better because let me tell you why. It's Independence Day, so why not do the Independence Day footage, right? It just
sounds perfect.
And I've never done a breakdown like what we're about to do, because I found some pictures, okay, and I must have looked at 12 different or more. There's dozens and dozens of people who have taken or made the attempt to break down this video. And you know what? There are people who fall on both sides. Both sides. People who 100% believe it, and people are like 100% don't. And not only that, but the people who don't believe it, they have many different reasons for them not believing it. I mean, completely different avenues. Some say it's the Leroy Blevins costume. Some say it's CGI. Some say it's just a good costume and they put a baby in the costume, So we're going to go through all of that, all of it. The footage info, the filmer's behavior, the Bigfoot behavior, and just go down step by step and talk about it. So I don't know if I have, let me make a copy of this. I'm going to put the link in the chat. If you'd like to join us, feel free to do so. Brent's busy today, and I know a couple of other people have already said that they're busy, and I don't think Jeff's around because he said, don't find me till after 4th of July. So, and this is 4th of July weekend. We had fireworks going off last night here, just all over the neighborhood, because people wanted to celebrate on the weekend, because it falls on a Tuesday. So weird. And so it felt like, I think every night till the 4th of July, we're going to have fireworks out there. See, I put the link in there and then I didn't push the enter button. There you go.
And my dog, like every dog in the world just about, is definitely afraid of fireworks.
Yeah, my poor dog. He looks at me like, help me, save me. They're attacking me. Then if you don't get your dog to go out to the potty before all that starts, good luck. Yeah, that's a nightmare. Anyway, So once again, everybody in the chat, thank you for being here. Kevin, Danny, Cindy, Emma, Chris. Oh, that's me. Sandra, Cindy, Eyes in the Woods. Good to see you. Jen Jen. Jen Jen is here. Talked to her a little bit earlier. Who else we got? Angel, Robert, Uncle Bones. He's always the first in the house. He's got something special coming up, guys. He's doing something really special, and you guys will be able to hear about that real soon. A little teaser. Mr. Fritz, there is the chocolate shake man himself. Good to see you. Who else do we got? If I missed you, I apologize. There's Finding the Trackway way up there in the top. Good to see you guys. So let me start us out. So what we have is the Independence Day footage of July 4th, 2010. But let me tell you this. Nobody, if you're looking for footage info, when, where, why, how, all those, things, there isn't any, okay? We know when it approximately came out, and that was in 2010. Somebody labeled it the Independence Day footage, but they really don't know when it came out. So you can't find the location. Many say that it took place in California. So we have a general location only because of other reasons, like Facebook finds Bigfoot, okay, and where they're stationed at. And so the big deal about this footage, which I'm going to play here in just a moment, for those who don't know, I think most of us that have been in the community have seen this footage time and time again. It's played on all the TV shows and whatnot, articles and everything. Always go to this thinking that it's prime footage, right? Either way, whether it's a fake prime footage or a real prime footage, everybody likes it because it's such a clear photo. It's not that clear, to be honest with you, but we'll go through that as well. I'm going to keep looking at the chat. So if you guys want to ask a question, please feel free to do so. Just make sure that you put your questions in all caps for me so that I can find them. Let me put that also there so you guys will have that there. It'll make it a lot easier. And I'm loving the little star thingy so that we can go back and find questions, because that's a new feature here on StreamYard. So let's start with, that was just a kind of a quick little intro about the film, okay? If we start out with, oops, no, I gotta click it on. But I always start with a question, right? So what convinces you that the Independence Day footage is real or not real? And if you do believe it's real, why? What are those things about the footage that you find are real? So real quick, I was going to do see if I could do a survey, but I didn't do it. So because Leon was talking and I didn't get a survey done. So,
I was not. I'm having a hard time keeping my eyes awake right now. What are you talking about? I just want to have a nap.
Leon needs a nap, so you guys got him on a quiet night.
Yeah.
I had my nap, Leon.
I know. I missed mine. I was too busy taking care of my marmot infestation.
Oh, God. Out of those people in the chat, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Do you think it's real? Do you think there are some things that are plausible about that footage or not? Okay. And a thumbs down if you think no, not at all. And while you guys are voting on that, I will bring up the footage and we will play it so that you guys can see what's going on. Okay. So put in your votes on what you guys feel is real or not. And here we go. I don't want the audio. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that go through, and you can. There you go. Oh, that's a different one. Sorry. Very jumbly, very all over the place, right? Donald says, no way. No way. Okay, so as this is playing and you guys are watching, there's the baby. There's the little bambino. And then he gonna runs off. So, eyes. Oops, I didn't push on eyes because my chat moved right when I was about to do that. Eyes in the woods. What? Oh, still not the right one. Boy, the chat really jumped. Nikki, what is the background of the footage? That's what I'm trying to tell you. There is no background to this footage. We really don't know where it is, what time it took place, other than what we can see. It took place either in the morning or in the late afternoon, according to what the sun looks like. Okay. We know that there has been a lot of fuss that has gone on with this because of allegations that had been done by Facebook Finds Bigfoot, that old group, okay, that most of us know about, made those allegations that it was Leroy Blevin's suit. Okay, oops, I let it run.
What's going on? I'm having a
I'll let it-
seizure.
I'll let
What
it
are we
run.
watching? What's Excel? Oh.
Oops. Dang it. I have to go get the video again. Where is it? Where did it? Oh, it's here. Sorry, I let it run, and I meant to catch it before it stopped. There we go. Okay. So that was the first allegation, was that Leroy Blevins came out and said, no, that is not my suit. Okay. He created a suit, but it was to debunk the P&G film. Okay, the Patterson-Gimlin. So he created a suit that looked exactly like Patty. And I'm going to show you all those photos here in a little bit. But we're going to just off of what we see and what this video is playing. Where are we? We're about halfway mark here. Okay.
So is this the original, like the channel we're watching right now? Is this the original channel that came up on
No,
YouTube?
I went and I looked for Facebook Finds Bigfoot, and it's not there. I couldn't find it. Many of people had saved the footage, of course, and there's some other stabilized ones, but this is one that hasn't been messed with as far as I know. So this is what really came out the initial first time.
Yeah. Now, you know,
and you couldn't track down any kind of or like early history about so and so did this video and why.
Oh yeah,
he did it.
I've got a list. Para breakdown
Okay.
6 years ago, Bigfoot Tony, strange spotting, tri-diver, eccentric ascents. Even Justin from Mountain Beast Mysteries did a couple of shows. Everybody's got stuff, and some of it's as early as last year. Some of it is from 6 years ago. 6.
And this showed
That one
up
is
10
from
years
6.
ago?
This one is from 6, and this supposedly showed up in 2010.
Yeah.
So
13 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah. When I first saw this, I gave it. I thought it was interesting at first, right? I was like, but then I was like, well, there's something that really looks kind of strange about it. One of the things about for me was that for some reason, and I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know if I can't do all that kind of freezing of stuff and trying to get measurements and stuff. Didn't look to me like the Sasquatch was very large, like it was just regular, normal human
And
size.
that's one of the things.
Also, it just when in that one shot of the open there that you had up earlier, that the face doesn't. I mean, it looks so square, like it almost looks like a mask to me.
Right.
And then the other red flag, really, for me, is what you mentioned, Nikki, is that you cannot find any kind of
Backstory.
information on this, who did it, where it was done, etc., blah blah blah, and that's a big red flag for me. So, and I know that other people have also. I think you've covered it before, pretty convincingly with some information you were able to find, and I just, I don't think it's real. I just don't. Plus, there's the other thing is, and like I said, I probably, out of everybody on the internet, apparently from what I see anyway, I'm the guy that knows the least about how Bigfoot behaves. But it does seem to me that it's kind of odd that it would be carrying the baby in front of it. If it's a large primate like that, I just think naturally the baby would be on the back hanging on like other large primates and apes and stuff, but I mean, I could be wrong about that. I mean, I'm just saying, to me, my opinion, just doesn't seem right that it would be carrying it in front of it.
Yeah,
I've heard people say
that's part of it.
And all this.
So
I don't know about that, but
okay, I'm gonna stop this guy. Put this back on. Oops. Did you know that when you stop it, it still keeps going? Unless I stop it here. Okay. Didn't know that. So this is what we've got. We've got this person. It's either a person in a suit, right? I'm not convinced it's CGI in any way. I do think it was really filmed. And the one thing that we have is, well, let's start from the beginning. The person filming, okay? If we look at the behavior of the person who's actually filming this, you do see some jumbling motions, but what do you not see? You don't see him say a word. Would you not gasp or say, "Oh my God," or under your breath going, "What the heck?" Something? Would not something come out of your mouth if you were to see something like that? Like, oh my God, at least an oh my God, or something. I just don't. That's one of the things that kind of irritates me about this footage, is that that bothered me, is that fact that there's nothing from that. The second thing that kind of bothers me about this is how the camera seems to just be perfect right where it starts, right? You have this and I'm gonna have to skip forward on one of my oops, wrong one. One of my slides, because I didn't put it in the right place.
Yeah, it does kind of seem like places everyone. All right, action kind of moment.
Yeah. If I go back and put this back on, you're going to see that the camera is moving before the Bigfoot even comes into the scene. Like almost he says,
Meeting.
you know, go. And then it's perfect. It's perfect timing. And he even kind of zooms down into that beginning area when he's coming out from the rock without the baby, right? In the very beginning, you can see that motion happen. And I'll show it to you right here. So what you need to look at is the motion of the camera, okay? The motion of the camera. Oh, this was later. Here we go. This one. See how it's already floating to the left before he's even out. And you can see it better if you look down at the rocks below. You can see it tracking way before the Bigfoot starts to come out.
Yeah, the other thing, I agree with you. I don't think it's CGI. I do believe it's a person in a costume. And the reason I think it's a costume is one I've brought up before when it comes to these things, is the uniformity of the hair.
Mm-hmm.
That's just based off of my own observation of the guy behind me, and and other primates. I mean, if you look at any kind of primate, the hair distribution on their bodies is not uniform. And with all these costumes, the hair is always uniform, and that seems to match.
Right. You're right. Completely. So it seems staged, right? It seems kind of staged. And for that time of what's that?
I was just going to say, it's also lacking so much, really. I mean, okay, so I'm walking through the bush and I come across that. Now, I'm probably not going to come across that clarity. I probably come across the rustling in the trees, which is going to alert me to say, well, what's that? Well,
right.
Why is the camera on is the question. Was the camera on before? The camera's on after the event happened. Again, there's no audio, like you're saying. There's no surprise. There's no anything. I think the camera, I don't know. There's just so much there. The other thing, when I look at it is, and listen, when I first bought this, because I was sucking the Kool-Aid back, I might as well be mainstreaming it by that time because that was like 7 years ago when I first saw this video. It was kind of like the red cedar Sasquatch, the one we're running through the trees with the long hair that's in the band. Is that the red cedar? I can't remember. Sierra. I can't remember what it is. You know what I'm talking about, Nikki?
The creature from the giant sequoia.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, that was, to me, that was even better than this one by far. But so, my apathy, not my apathy, my own cognitive dissonance from drinking the Kool-Aid is wanting it to be. I want to believe, right? So I'm watching this whole thing, but I'm not asking the right questions. The other funny thing, when I analyzed that video, this is just before I went in the hospital, it's a male. You guys notice that? It's a male grabbing a baby, and that's kind of rare too. So where's his mother? Because the mother's usually defending the offspring immediately, right? And but again, just the whole thing of, I don't know what's happening before. Like, what's happening before? I mean, all of a sudden you're just walking across there. There's nothing there. Right. I don't like the way the body is too, especially again with the butt. Again, it doesn't look like a natural butt with a leg muscle going down the side of the butt. So again, it's just showing up. Here it is. It's just showing up. How did the guy know it's behind the rock when it pops up over the rock too? Well, let's make it peak. Let's make it peak. I think the biggest thing is if you go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just going to say.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Nikki. Just show. I'm just watching. Go ahead.
Why didn't he take that baby into the woods? Straight back into a hiding position instead of having to walk out in front of everything. It doesn't make sense. All animals do that when they're trying to get. Oh, it's going to start over on me. No, I still have time.
No breast.
They
no
all
breast.
seek the fastest way out, right? The fastest way to be unseen, not right out in the open. Not right out in the open.
Well, the other thing is the monkey reminds me, the monkey. It reminds me of the monkey you used to be able to buy at Walmart, where you put its legs around your waist.
Oh, I have
and
one of
its
those.
hands,
I wonder where he is.
and you can go like this with it. That's what it looks like,
Yes.
but it's so close to it. It looks like, again, my brain is going to fill in because I just wanted to believe,
Yeah. And we're going to talk about that the baby
I got something
issues.
going on in my background here. All of a sudden, my other laptop just turned on there. I'm not sure what's going on. It's
weird.
playing weird music. I'm gonna cut off. I'll be listening, but I'll be offline here for a sec.
Okay. His laptop's haunted. So, welcome to the show, everybody who's just come in. Hive. Hey, haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, I changed my name. A lot of people didn't want to look up Hairy Man. So, okay, so let me turn this one off real quick, and we'll go back to here. So another thing is, what was I going to just say? So we haven't got anything prior, like he said, or anything after. So when it walks off, there's no attempt to follow it, because evidently he doesn't feel scared or intimidated that he should get out of there. It just stops. So we have just this start beginning early, okay, before he sees anything. And there is sound to this, but you don't see that. Okay, and I've got somebody who wants to come on to the show, so let's welcome. Hello.
Hey there. Hey, it's Bree from HiveScience. Hey,
How are you?
Doing all right.
Welcome.
It's been a minute since I popped in, but I see the tiny legs on this thing, and I had to say something. The tiny legs here just don't match up with the rest of the, let's call it, animal being charitable.
Yeah, correct. You're right. I agree with you. It doesn't match. We're going to go more into that when we get into that posture and gait of this creature. We'll just go through a few stills here. And of course, we'll talk about that baby and how some people say they see the baby grabbing on, okay, like this. But there's other evidence that supports it's not live. And in fact, the hand is Velcroed to the chest. And I will show you how we think that in a moment. And then there's another option. People say that it is, like what Leon had said, just a Muppet, that there's a false hand right around, and then the hand that's farthest away is inside the puppet moving, and then he has one real around it. So there's many different, things it could be. And of course, we will never know because we weren't there. All we know is, what do I always say? The red flags, people, the red flags. Pay attention to those red flags. And let me move on here. So this is just a comparison to Patty. Okay, how Patty's face, kind of the shape of the head, and how things line up or not line up. This is not very scientifical, folks. Okay, this is just something that was brought up in another person's when they were going through and trying to debunk things. And I'm going to bring up a bunch of those. And I can't remember who brought this one up. But you be assured, the only one I didn't take info from was Thinker. Okay, because I won't deal with that. at all. So everything here is not from Thinker. just so you know. And there's a look at that tush. Okay, the comparison of the two tushes. And I know a lot of people have a problem with even the Patty tush being a little bit rounded, but that one looks a heck of a lot better than that
one's
other
thick.
one.
Nice and thick.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the legs are still tiny. I mean,
yeah.
it's that butt that makes the legs look weird, right? Am I
right.
wrong?
I don't know. It's a protruding little
watching
butt out there. It's weird. It's weird, folks. It's not. You have to pay attention to those things because that's not natural. It's just not natural. So, what was one of my other points I was going to make? Okay. So here's another one that was brought up by Strange Spotting. And he kind of took a person who was running and kind of blocked off the head, the torso, the leg, and the lower leg. And he did that for the next one. And they seem to come out at the same lengths, okay, as a regular person, not a Bigfoot, because we've always said that Bigfoot have longer arms, that go further down. So this would not be the case if that's true. If we're always using that as an example, that the arms aren't long enough. Everybody says that all the time when you're looking at photos. Well, those arms don't look long enough. So this is one of those scenarios that he's trying to show, and how that it's a normal, height of a person. It's not something extraordinarily 9 foot tall. It's not. It's really not. And he does a rough estimate of the back. We don't know how big that tree is behind there, but you can estimate on several different inches wise, from the smallest being 22 inches, and maybe if you go, like 4 people texted me, 30 inches. Oh, I had all these things in my ear. I don't know if you guys could hear that. So, it's Thomas. Hold on. Let me see what Mr. Thomas is saying. What time? What time right now?
Is that 22-inch estimate put us at 5'1"? Is that right?
That would put us at 5'1". Yes, 61. So if that's what he was comparing it to, he's trying to show.
But the tree, we don't know. We don't know about the tree.
Right, we don't know what the tree is. But I would fair to say that's a pretty big tree. So it would at least be about 30 inches, which would take it to about 7 foot. It could take it to 7 foot, but that's still, if you're in that 26-inch to 30-inch range, you're looking at a 6 foot tall person in there. It could be, And again, we don't know. We don't know how tall it is. We don't have any of the correct measurements for anything in the background.
Well, I mean, you could take that and talk about the height of the infant, right? I mean, this it's behaving like an infant, but if that's 7 foot tall, that baby is like humans, like adult human size.
Yeah, right. You're right. So another.
Yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I didn't recognize who was below me here, but it's awesome that you're on the show today. I've been following you, by the way. I've been following you in the shadows, in the background, like all channels. But you're hilarious to watch for sure, like in a great way, not in a bad way.
Well, thank you. I try to be entertaining.
Yeah, well, you got good information too, so that's the bonus part of it.
Okay. We got somebody else jumping on now. So, oh shoot. Hold on, folks. Hello, Thomas.
Hello, Nikki.
Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi, guy. I just got in and I looked at it and said, "Oh, there's a show on it." All right.
So, Thomas, we're talking about that dreaded 4th of July Independence Day footage, Bigfoot footage.
What did I miss on it?
We talked about the witness, the actions of the person filming a little bit, and how it seemed a little staged. It seems they don't talk, they don't say a word. There's no oohs or ahs or ums, and the camera kind of leads off before the Bigfoot even comes out from behind the rock. So
yeah, you're talking about the one where it seems to be like it picks up a baby.
Yes,
a rather stiff, doll-like baby.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I'll just tell you my own gut opinion on it. I think it's a hoax, but it's a hoax someone put some effort into.
Yes, I do agree on that, because I mean, in my opinion, and we're going to get into the Leroy Blevins suit here shortly. I think I just want to say that's the same suit, and I'm going to bring that suit up so we can all compare that and see what's going on here. Let me go through these. Oh, here's another thing, is that many of the Bigfoot have a leaning forward. Okay, Patty has a kind of a leaned forward. She's up and then she's got this hunch. And actually, so does the Freeman footage. But this one is straight arrow walking. And this came out from Strange Spotting as well. And here's that example of how they're kind of hunched when they walk. And remember, the knees tend to never straighten out.
Lock.
What's the one on the right?
That's the Freeman footage. Yeah.
That's the Freeman footage. Yeah.
So you're talking like the shoulder hump, though.
Yeah, that's they kind of lean forward when they're walking, kind of,
well,
hunched over gait.
Their spinal cord is supposed to be back farther, like not ours. Ours sits right in the center of our head, right? That was a little farther back, and that's the other thing too. In that video or the picture you just showed earlier, there it looks straight up. It looks like the spinal cord's right directly on the neck. Not.
It kind of reminds me of Australopithecus. Because the spine on Australopithecus comes in sort of further back than it does on humans, but more forward than it does on non-human primates. So, kind of puts it in the in-between category. Interesting.
Oh, it's a mystery.
Somebody else who says Australopithecus. I'm gonna have a discussion with you, because I often like to talk to people who know a bit about the anthropology of past species that we are basically descended from.
Yeah, I do lots of good stuff on. I did a video recently on the Tong child, which was a Australopithecus that got killed by a giant eagle of all things. So there's another another cryptid that sticks its nose in the giant eagle when we know they existed because they killed our ancestors.
Yeah, it was probably a crown eagle, I guess they think it was. Yeah.
Whoa, interesting. I'll have to go check that out for sure. Hey, Brent's in the house. Brent's in there and sitting and getting some ink done. What are you getting done? Woody Woodpecker?
I think this baby's probably too big for an eagle to carry off, though. Looks like it's kind of too big for the mommy to carry off.
By the way, Nick, I also have severe doubts about the Freeman footage as well.
I know. I do too now because of you. one thing at a time. Tonight, after this show at 7:00, Squatch Detective Steve Calls will be doing the Freeman footage with Michael Freeman and his book and everything. They're going to be on tonight, and so be sure to check that out later. So, here was that one I was looking for earlier. Why is the camera movement to the left before the creature comes out? Okay, that leading action.
Well, did anyone ever hear the background story of this thing?
No, you have the background story. As far as I know, there wasn't any other than the finding Bigfoot thing. Okay, putting it out that Leroy Blevins had created that suit and had created this whole hoax. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, like there was no story about, oh, I heard something or nothing.
No.
Something. There was nothing. There was nothing. It almost looked like someone was doing a film test for a future film of some kind or something. You know.
Well, that's what I had heard, Thomas. I had heard that the reason why he was doing it was to prove he could do a suit like that, and this was kind of now I can't remember if it was the BC. Sorry, I live in BC, so it's in my brain, and I'm tired. BBC wanted him to do this as if, and this is what he sent them to show him that, look, he could reproduce that same suit that Patty was in, kind of thing. So I don't know. I like I said, there's just so much missing from the video. Who's the person, guy or girl, whatever, walking in the park, comes across us? We should try to do a reverse picture search just on the pictures instead of the video to see if we can find out where the location is. Go back there. That would solve a lot. And take measurements right there. Mind you, it's 13 years ago, right? So
there's a shuffle walk that this guy does, right? That this, and that's just so telling. Again, I'm the legs are the what. Everything else about the costume here looks good. It looks like they did try to emulate the Patterson Gimlin costume. They just couldn't figure out how to get that bottom half to look right.
That's why it's always below things, right?
Right. Here comes the
you don't notice it.
It would have been possibly. It was possibly a little more successful if they hadn't thrown in the doll.
Probably. I agree. I agree with that. I think
and again, it's a male. It's not. If you look at the video, you don't see any breasts. Just especially after. I don't know what baby offsprings, how long they suckle for, but I don't know. But it just seems. It looks to me like one of those they took one of those hand monkeys that you used to get from Walmart that goes around your neck and your waist, but they kind of dolled it up a bit. You know what I mean? So it looks more. Right.
So
professional. Well, not professional, but.
And if we base it off of what we know, go ahead. Sorry.
What animal picks up its young and then runs with it into an open space when there's intruder present?
No, totally. Yeah.
Nobody. Yeah. They go straight to safety. And if we go with what we know with known animals, which would be any type of ape or monkey or gorilla, when they take their young, the young are the one that holds on for dear life. And they either swing them onto the back or they're holding on to the chest themselves because the mothers are knuckle walkers and tend not to hold on to their children.
Yeah. It would have been, if that was a natural thing to happen, there would have been a graceful flow of picking up that
and gone
child and moving. You watch gorillas. How they come in and try to get their pictures and stuff and they move back, that's what they do. They gracefully does the flow. They grab the baby in one arm and they're moving through the jungle with the next. There's no, they definitely aren't moving into the open saying, hey, get a better shot at me and my infant here.
Was there ever any indication of where exactly this was shot?
California. They're saying California.
Okay. Any idea where in California?
No. There's no information of where or what timing. We can just look at the picture and say that it either happened either in the morning or in the late afternoon, according to what the sun is showing us, but we don't know where it was. But people are speculating that it was a Facebook finding Bigfoot hoax to begin with, and they were based in California. So that's what a lot of people think. Remember, there's a bunch of different storylines here of what could have been.
Is that some kind of mesquite there?
It does look brushy. Yeah, in the background, it does look that way.
There's a lot of species of mesquite, but maybe give a better height estimate in the trees.
I don't know. That to me looks like those boulders, especially. There's something to me. It's like that's a park of some sort, and I'm sure if we could just ask people to. Yeah, and
I can picture a campground right there on the other side. There seems cleared out. It seems like it's perfect campground, and if he were to turn around, you'd probably see the drive. You know, that you can park your car and there's a picnic table. That's how it looks, or it seems to me that it could be.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, let's take a close look at the subject itself. I mean,
right. So he's kind of unusual looking to me. You know, the way the head and the face is shaped.
Yeah, it's like I said, they definitely spent some money here.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why, you know, I really think.
Yeah, because that's definitely not a Walmart Sasquatch costume. That's guaranteed.
It's like somebody trying to emulate Patty, is what it looks like to me.
Yeah, it's not that real popular. It's not that real popular, real good-looking one from that California company that the Georgia boys put in a freezer either.
I don't know, Donald. Were they from the Midwest? I got the impression one of them was out of California. I don't know. And one of the videos I watched also said that. So I just kind of went with it. If you know something, then you're letting me know yourself. So, okay. So now we're going to get into this baby, I think. I think I put the baby and the movement. The baby
wait, sorry, I want to interrupt. Look at the right hand of the baby. I want to point it on my screen so you guys see what I'm pointing at, which won't work for anyone viewing. But see that little white part that kind of clips up like this a little bit? On the right hand side of that to me looks like, you know, on those puppets they had that little stick that was attached to that hand. Right. That's what that looks like to me.
And that's what I want to bring to your attention is see that right here. See that white piece on the shoulder? It was said that was a piece of Velcro.
For the hand to stick to.
Yes.
Is the other white patch, is that the ear when we look at the baby?
And then when they pick up the baby, the white patch is gone and now a hand is there, a different color, okay? Right over the exact place where that was, okay? And to me, I was like,
arm extension there. That totally looks like a Muppet arm.
And that arm is super skinny.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that other white spot? Is that the puppet's ear? Is that what that would be?
It's the ear or side of the face. You can't quite see, you know, but I think it's either the ear or the side of the face. And
that's one thing that you never hear about is Sasquatch ears. Well, not too much anyway, so that's interesting.
No.
Yeah.
Most of the time, most witnesses I've talked to say the ears are either completely covered in hair or they barely see them at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was I going to say? So in the film, when you see the baby, there's several times where I say, whoa, did he move? But what I think I'm seeing is if that's Velcro, when he moves that baby forward and back, that hooked hand is going to stretch out like you see here. And when he pulls it closer, that arm is going to come back. Okay, so you're just seeing the motion of him manipulating the baby pretty much.
Yeah. Well,
because for a while I thought they put a poor kid in that costume. I thought, oh my God, that kid.
Now, when I was a wee lad, I used to have Grover, or I think it's Grover, the puppet from Sesame Street. And as soon as I look at this whole thing as soon as it grabbed the baby, all I can think of is how many times I played with Grover, and it was the same thing, right hand, and he had that extended arm that you can see there with that arm that's usually attached to something that's in black. I don't know. The whole thing just says to me, "Hi." I wait for him to turn and start talking, Sesame Street language to me here in a second. But it just looks. I don't know. Yeah, that's the.
I don't have a Grouch or Grover sound on here. Sorry, so I have to stick with Woody. That's about what I got.
Got Cookie Monster?
No. But I do
Grover
have
maybe before your time. Who knows? Being an old
guy.
Oh,
I know Grover and Super Grover too.
Okay, yeah, because he was blue. His whole body was blue. I always thought it'd be neat when I was growing up. I thought it'd be great to get on a Harley and travel North America on a Harley with Grover and try to make people laugh. That's what one of my kids' fantasies I had. I thought there's too much misery on the planet without some humor.
Well, you get like a fake arm and have the Grover puppet, and you could be like having him interacting while you're
totally.
For years, I was hoping to see Grover and Cookie Monster duke it out. It never happened.
You can still make that happen.
So during this time, Leroy was completely, supposedly, livid that these allegations were made about him, that he was, that was him in that suit. And he made he made a video about it, which I can't find. It's no longer available. I did find the link to that video, but it's off. It's been taken down. So he made statements like, his first statement that I found says, the video on here that claims Facebook find Bigfoot about Leroy Blevins making a video is all lies. I am Leroy Blevins Sr., and I never made a video on a hoax. And that is not me in the video. And that is not me in my suit. The hoax was made up by Facebook Find Bigfoot and posting it to, he writes kind of really bad, posting it to making false claims and pointing the finger at me, when in fact it was them that pulled off this hoax and not me. Facebook Find Bigfoot does not know one thing about Bigfoot, so that is why they pull off these hoaxes to fool people, and making people think they know what they're doing, and in fact they are clowns and they don't know nothing. That was the first statement.
Sounds like Leroy has a chip on his shoulder there.
And that was made.
That's what you really think.
1 year to the date we think it came out. That was in 2011, July 5th, 2011.
Tell you the honest truth, I think the suit in the video looks a little better than his, quite frankly. Yeah.
It could be. So this is the Blevins suit here, and this was his. Remember, he initially made the suit to try to debunk the Patterson-Gimlin footage. So everything he did in that suit was based off of Patty, trying to duplicate what he saw in Patty. And
I gotta say, the butt looks very similar here, though.
Very, 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 very. Okay. This is what it looks like from the front.
Well, that looks a little better there.
Right? And then we had a gentleman who was esoteric Ascents. He also posted a breakdown of the footage and said, claimed that, well, it's allegedly the Leroy Blevins. Well, he got pissed off and sent this guy several messages about it, and these were those messages saying, again, I am not the Bigfoot in the Independence Day Bigfoot. The images you show in my suit was test images from 2007 when I was doing the test on the gorilla suit as Hieronymus and Morris claimed, but the test proved it was not a gorilla suit. And then he texted him back. He goes, I'm just saying, allegedly, that this has been said that it looks like the Leroy Blevins suit. And he wrote back, what was that, Thomas?
Hold on. What he's saying that he was testing the suit.
He was testing. Yes.
His suit, or the suit that they used in that BBC debunking that never got.
His suit that
was Philip Morris.
Images shown where he was in his suit walking around, in front of that building. Yeah. That those were when he was testing a gorilla suit. He calls it his gorilla suit. Mm-hmm. And it was for Hieronymus and Morris, I guess. I don't know. But he then comes back and says, then I altered the suit in 2007.
Okay. So that's 3 years even before, isn't it? Before. Yeah.
Three
so
before
it was 2010.
That suit could have been altered to look exactly like what we're seeing now. Okay. Especially the face could have been altered. By the way, Bob Titmus did when he made the suit for Roger, and the changes to the suit was done 3 years before this video came out, which to me doesn't seem like it helps him. I think it makes it look like, well, now it could really be that suit, because we don't have images of what changes were made.
What year did this video come out again? 2009, 10?
10, yeah. Okay. 2010. And again, they were going back and forth, and he posted that, again, I live in Kentucky, and I've been living here since 2009. Now, from what I found out, that the Independence Day Bigfoot was filmed in California, and I have not been in California for over 30 years. So please stop claiming it is me in my suit, when in fact it is not me or my suit. So give it up.
Well, to tell you the honest truth, I actually believe him. I don't think it was his suit.
And then there's some more. Everywhere I was finding Reddit posts and forums and stuff like that where people are having discussions about this. And they all pretty much said the same thing, that it's highly suspicious. Many think it was the Leroy Blevins, even though he says no. And there was a few who believe it, okay, that think it is, but many don't.
It's that Blevin booty that's making me.
Right. Now here's the Blevin suit again, and we've got it compared to his comparison photos to the Patty.
Yeah, but he was basing his suit on Patty, right?
Right, he was.
That was the one thing that went against Philip Morris. The BBC was so unimpressed with the whole thing, they never included any of that footage in their documentary. They sold Morris at the time, you did a better job in 67 based on nothing than you're doing now based on your own suit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it seems to me that Blevins, if that's his suit there, one glaring omission seems to be, if you look at, of course, the middle picture there with the classic Patty thing, you can see the breasts. Where are the breasts on Blevins?
Well, I don't think Blevin tried to make his female. I think he just tried to make a standard Sasquatch suit. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
I don't think he was thinking gender, which is kind of surprising detail to leave out.
I mean, considering how important the breasts are to Patty's, just
right.
proposal as a real thing. Yeah.
Right. You would think he would put it.
This Blevin guy, is he a costume maker? What is he? What does he do?
Let me see. What I have on him says Blevins suit theory. Blevins spent a year making the suit, and as the story goes, went out and filmed the video to prove a realistic hoax could be pulled off. He's a skeptic who wanted to prove the PGF could be faked.
Well, yeah, if there is no Sasquatch, it never was. The PGF was faked. If there is a Sasquatch and they do exist, it's quite possible it's real. I mean, why state the obvious?
Right.
Right.
You're right.
I mean, if you're going to, he did all this to try to prove it's fake. It could be fake. Well, okay. Thank you.
Replica costume repeated for years. Blevins claimed he had not personally responsible for the video. That's all it says. Doesn't say his exact background.
There's only one way ever we're going to find out that the PGF in 67 was fake, and that's if Bob Gillen says, yeah. We did it. That's it.
Yeah, that is. You're right. It is.
Yeah.
But on this photo on the left, I'd like you to take note, as last week when we talked about the P&G film, the feet look the same because I was complaining about Patty's flat foot, extremely flat foot, white, no dirty, no, indentation, nothing. You can't even see the toes. You can't even see the toes there on Patty.
Yeah, well, it's a 16 millimeter tomb film shot in 1967, which is about the best you can do back then with all movies. Yeah.
The whiteness always kind of threw me, though. The whiteness of the body.
Well, I think that's the gray tinged soil from the type of sand it was walking in. Yeah.
Hold on one second. Somebody sent me a video. Oh yeah. And that Blake from oops, hold on. I almost did a mistake here. Almost. Blake sent me a video, and it's a video, one of the breakdowns that was done on the baby. When he picks up the baby, it looks like he's kissing the baby. Okay, he's kissing the baby, and do you guys want me to bring it up to show you? But that they can see mouth open and close on the baby to make it, Like I said, I thought I saw movement at first, and my first initial thing was they put a poor little baby in that suit, So, but I don't know. Now I believe in the Velcro thing, so.
Well, we saw the Velcro. I mean, we saw something, and the hand was in that exact spot.
White natural right there, and then it was gone when he stood up with the baby. So weird. I say weird. There's another shot of the booty, back end of the Blevins suit. You can see how tall the gentleman next to him is. So, there may be, 6 foot tall. There's another big shot.
Trying to disprove, was he using materials that were available in 67, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera?
No. He was I think he was using stuff he had. Yeah. And I don't even think, that's one thing that not only bothers me about the Patterson footage and this one is that complete coverage of hair. Would there be a complete coverage of hair all over? And Leon's mentioned it that for Patty, why are her breasts covered in hair when no other mammal has hair on their breasts?
No other large mammal lives in the Rocky Mountains and the Pacific Coast Mountains of Northwest North America either, but they probably develop a little different.
Well, apes have the same amount of hair follicles, though, all including us. So it's interesting that on this one, I don't know, it's that glossiness that kind of throws me.
Right. the
Yeah.
fake, the fiberglass, the plastic in the hair, because it's fake.
Well, I've seen black bears that look like they come out of the grooming shop.
Yeah.
You
With
know,
the
and-
glossy, shiny fur.
yeah, it's kind of weird the way nature works. I mean, I just feel if it was an actual case of someone really believing they saw a Sasquatch, we would have gotten a lot more detail when it came out.
Ooh, killed by Bigfoot.
Yeah.
He says if PNG was faked, they used an actual animal. I've watched it upside down and sideways, wondering if they didn't squeeze into the flesh of a slaughtered bear or a horse, maybe.
Like a meat suit? Leon, you're muted.
A meat suit.
Thanks. Sorry. I always thought about that too. Is if I was back in '67, as that's my era in a way, I would have definitely went to a taxidermist that knows what they're doing, because you're going to have a better looking arse than that, I would think. I mean, they got
it's
these
just like they didn't know the anatomy appropriately because it just kind of stopped and then hump.
Well, I know we're not supposed to be we're talking about this is not the PG film, but if you look at stills of the very beginning of the PG film, when you're looking at the subject straight from the back, you can actually see Patty's butthole.
Oh,
what?
I hadn't seen Patty's butthole.
I
haven't seen that one.
I can't see anything on there.
Yeah. Of course, you got to blow it up, but it's there. Yeah.
This one's got a green butthole. I can see that.
I know.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
Yeah.
Eating leaves.
They could. Whoa, that's because it was. Let's match that leaf to out there in the scene.
Yeah,
I think that's
there you
foam
go.
padding.
That's forensic
that's
evidence right there. Take it.
And
That's the kind of big
for
foam padding they
me-
use in the costume making, probably like a skirt around the waist of it.
For me, when it comes down to all these videos, and I mean, I agree with Thomas on, there's certain animals like, deer. It seems to me that most of the deer, when I see them, of course, their fur covering all seems fairly uniform and etc. But when it always comes down to that for me with some of these videos is the uniformity of the hair on a primate. There is no primate that I've ever seen, at least the ones that exist now, including us. I mean, the hair on the body is never uniform. And I don't care what you want to call Rasta, whether you want to say he is a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch. I'm calling him hominin X because I'm not exactly sure where it fits or what kind of hominin it is. But the hair is not uniform all over. And with almost all these videos, the hair is just so uniform. And that happens in almost every costume that's ever made. The hair is always uniform. There's never any varying lengths of hair. And that's the one thing that bugs me. So.
Right. I don't know. I just think that for an adult, for a young adult or even an adult, that after the time, the wear, right, from regular walking or going through the bush would create, hair that is not dark or is lighter in other areas. Maybe in the elbow creases, the actual elbows, places that bend a lot or rub a lot. The underarm area that would be lighter, possibly.
Well, I think a lot of that in the PG film is due to light reflection. If you look at other images in the PG film, she's covered in hair all over the place. And Bob always told me he thought there was something wrong with the film, and it turned out that a lot of Kodachrome 2 film in '67 was overexposing. He said, what I saw with the eye wasn't the dark black gray that you see in the film. It was more like a dark brown color.
Oh.
Yeah. So he always thought there was something wrong with the footage. And he's kind of right, because that's why the fall colors in the footage seem so brilliant. He said they were pretty, but they didn't jump out and grab you like you see in that film. Yeah. And apparently in 1967, there was a lot of the stock of the Kodachrome 2 film that they found out later was overexposing that year.
Giving it that more of an orange.
Say that again, please.
Just giving it more of an orange contrast to the because Patty really pops against the background. I mean, even more so than people trying to make it pop. It seems like she pops inadvertently.
Another thing that was odd, they saw Patty's tracks that she left behind when she left, including a couple of tracks that seemed to come up right out of the water, but there was no line of tracks about how she got there in the first place, and that's why they estimated she was probably walking. They guessed she was walking in the water along the creek and took off when they out in the encounter, and her feet were wet. And that's why you get that grayish tinge color to the bottom of her feet, because of the grayish tin soil was clinging to her feet as she walked away. Yep.
Yeah, I hate those white feet. All right, so do you see movement in the baby? Whoa, that was a big old thunder. Do you? I'm home alone. Everybody left me today, so
we're here. We're 1,000 miles away, but
I know everybody left me. Usually, I have my house full, so
it's sunshiny here.
The baby issue. I wanted to touch on. Do you see movement in the baby, Bree?
No, I didn't see any movement in the baby, but if you got anything zoomed in, I can take a second look.
Look at the footage and see if that extended arm moves at all. And if it does it look rather rubbery rather than an elbow?
Again, it'd be nice to know if they filmed it on a cell phone too, because that's like 13 years ago cell phone, right?
Yeah.
They would have held it vertical though.
And that's what I mean. That's the other thing. It's a pretty good shot if you're setting it up. There it is, poking over. Oh my! Picks it up.
See,
now
pushes it
the
forward.
arm moved the baby closer.
There's
the
a
baby
little bit of
didn't
arm
move.
swinging there in the baby.
It's too hard to see. Here's the closer up shot.
No, I'll say this much. Whoever did it, they really did an effort. They did a good job. They just should have left the baby out. See, you see when he touches the baby there, it kind of shakes a little bit like it's a stiff doll.
Okay, right
I guess
here.
I'm just not seeing the movement in the baby. Anything that's not caused by the movement of the.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any movement in the baby, to me, it looks like it's just caused by the movement of the character. You know, it doesn't look to me like the baby itself is actually making any kind of movement or anything like that.
Look at the forehead right there where the light hits it.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
And of course, there are people. Even Bigfoot Tony says that he sees the hand grabbing. Okay, and he.
That's the Velcroed hand, though. So
yeah.
You saw when they're walking across the field, it has the baby held like leaning back more, and that arm stretched out. So
right.
I like to see all the footage that they probably redid this like 50 times before they got one.
Right. And there are some that show more. Okay, I'm showing you such a small section of what people have noticed because I can't possibly pull all of that stuff up. So in the description, I've left a lot of the links to all the stuff I was looking at. Okay, so you guys can go, if you're interested, you can go look for yourself. I highly recommend Tri-Diver, Esoteric Sense, and Strange Spotting, which are in the description below. Watch those ones because there are some I had never seen and they're very good. So let's do the rundown. Real or fake, right? For the real part. Oops, dang it. It doesn't work here. I was going to pull one up at a time. So I have that real part, the Bigfoot behavior. Yes, a Bigfoot would come out and would go straight to the baby to protect the baby. Okay. But we talked about it not being a female, it's being a male. And we don't know if males are maternal like a mother. You know, we don't know if they don't take on that part of rearing a child. So
it's like the other primates that probably tolerates them, but don't get on daddy's nerves. Yeah.
Right.
Well, the females will call the male gorillas to come protect the baby too. There's a video out there. This guy holding a baby gorilla, and the female gets nervous about it and makes a couple hoots, and all of a sudden the big male comes busting through the bush and goes right at him.
Right, you're right.
Yeah.
Steve says Facebook finding Bigfoot was in Minnesota. Okay. Well, Leroy Blevins himself said it was California, but I don't know. Maybe it is in Minnesota. Do they have parks that look like that? I don't know. I've never been to Minnesota. I have no idea what Minnesota looks like. I thought it was one big plain. I don't know. A
lot of forest too.
So
a lot of forests, land of 1,000 lakes or something like that they call it.
Yeah. Was the camera work displaying anxiety? Did we saw some jostling around and stuff, but of course, we never heard him say anything. So, okay, one for each side. The possible baby movement, possible.
I didn't see it.
Sometimes I think I see it. I don't know.
Tell you on the truth, the baby movement you did see tend to put it on the fake side for me. Yeah.
Yeah. The lack of motive for a hoax, and that's something we really didn't talk about, is, okay, somebody puts out a hoax. Sometimes they have something to gain from that hoax. Say Rick Dyer and all his hoaxes and all the money he created for himself doing those hoaxes. But this was nothing. No word of where it came from or how it got out or where the initial post occurred from. Other than Facebook finding Bigfoot was involved in one of the very first postings of that.
Well, motive, all we really need is a bunch of people giving themselves high fives saying, yeah, we fooled them.
And they never, over all this time, came out or in one blog or one podcast said, yeah, we faked it or we did it, right? Nothing. But for the fake side, that red flag side that I'd like to call it, no information, nothing to go and research or try to vet. The Bigfoot walking right out into the open instead of seeking shelter. Now, of course, it would go to the baby first, but taking that long stroll all the way across that whole area, I don't buy it. The ratios match that of a human, in my opinion. The saggy costume, which be that big old butt, hanging down there. It just looks square. When he's walking, it looks squared off down there. Not normal. No evidence that it's extremely high height or weight-wise. It just looks like normal human sizes to me. There's no hunching over, which I've come to kind of look at as a standard of gait for a Bigfoot. And the exaggerated arm swings, which I didn't go over, but in the film, the arms in the beginning kind of come up to almost a 90-degree angle, and Patty's, although she swings, they're kind of straighter. The arms are
Not doing the mashed potato. Yeah.
So I had left that one out. The camera panning before the subject even comes out. That's a big one for me.
Mhm.
And I forgot to put in here the Velcro. That's another big thing. I think that white thing is something, okay? I think it's something, and I think it's Velcro, and that's where he stuck the hand of the baby. I do. And the grainy video quality. The lighting situation was perfect to obtain great video. And we still have some graininess. So whatever that was filmed on was not a great thing. I think it was probably just a phone, like you said, something not too great. But, and that's my take, is that this thing is faker than fakety fake, what I said in my description.
F-.
Well, at least an F for originality and a good-looking costume. It's one of the better ones. I mean, if you're going to
That's what I think. That's why I think it's fakety fake, guys.
Weakest link, yeah.
I agree, but I also like to mention I'd like to congratulate them for the effort they put into it.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, hopes is we would get even more off if they follow the lead of this one. So,
top half of the costume is great. Yeah, the bottom half not so much. They should have left the baby out of the whole thing.
That's probably why they intentionally had it in behind the rocks most of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just so weird. It just didn't.
Somebody probably invested in it and wanted to have it in the shot. Oh man, I put all the work into this.
It would have been a lot more convincing if they just left the baby out of it, and when they first have the first thing pop up into view the first time, if it just looked at the camera for a moment and turned straight around and headed straight into the trees and disappeared. Yeah.
Yep, I agree. How about you, Mr. Satch?
Yeah, there's just so many red flags about it to me that I'm pretty convinced that it's not real. It's not real. It's a good attempt. I agree with everybody about that. It's a really awesome attempt.
Right. Blake's talking about the mouth movement again. I didn't see any mouth movement, Blake.
I don't buy it.
You have to really, really take that into one of those programs that super slows, and it doesn't really matter, even if there is movement, okay, on that baby. It could still be a kid in a baby suit, in a Bigfoot baby suit. It could, right? Even if because like I said, I thought they had put their kid inside a suit in the beginning. So if there is movement, the more you zoom and put through programs and pixelation and matrixing happens, you have manipulated the footage. I'm sorry. You can't do that. You need to look at what it is, okay? What we see, the original, and take it for that. The more I think you zoom in and manipulate the photos, you're just ruined the whole thing, in my opinion. But you're right, Blake. It could be, and that's another facet that I said on the real side. The baby has possible movement. Okay. So your point is taken, is absolutely taken. That was a great conversation. Thanks, guys. And we're going to move on to our next segment, which is Leon's favorite.
Show me what you got. Jim, you heard them said, show me what you got. Show me what you got. I want to see what you got. Oh, boy.
Oh boy, another week in the groups. So I'm going to show you a few things I found out there, and not convincing, of course. But here we have this photo that has been popping up in all the different groups. And according to the arrow, that dark speck there is a 19-foot Bigfoot is what it said on the thing.
Gosh.
But many of the people in the comment section said, but wait a minute, those are hardwood trees. Those grow to 40 and 50 feet tall. And that object is just as tall. And believe it or not, there were people saying, yeah, it's a 40-footer. No. You imagine the poop on a 40-foot Bigfoot? Holy cow. I don't think you would miss it. You'd have to drive around it.
That's for sure.
That's just physically impossible. People can argue with me about that if they want to.
Yeah,
but
I think
it's just physically not possible.
Is this was this a still photo or from a video?
No, it's a still photo.
Was there only one taken?
Yes, there was only one.
Where was it taken?
Did it say? I don't think it said. Did I write it down? I don't think I wrote it down.
The trees look like they're in their autumn clothes, though. So
this it's not new. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's definitely not new. I'm just showing you what's out there, folks. Red flags. Remember, red. That's what I need.
I don't
think red flags.
Something like this right offhand. It kind of reminds me of the one time I may have seen something myself. It was huge and it was very far away and you couldn't see details. So it's useless as evidence, even if it was a Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Or King Kong, which is what this would have to be.
Oh, that's what somebody said in the thing too, in the comment section. They said, "Oh, it would be like King Kong." So yeah, exactly what they said. And then there's this photo. Now this photo looks really familiar to me. And I think we've covered it before, but not zoomed in like this. I think it's part of, oh my God, what's his name?
Documentary, isn't it?
It could be a documentary, but I think it's this guy, Lease.
Oh.
And part of the series he had put out, the ones on I marked the original one, but the other ones were a whole series of photos that he had been putting out, and I think it's part of this series. I had the middle photo I had already clipped in my, saved, so I didn't go back to find and click on that to see, but I think it might be there. I don't know. It just looks super familiar, and I think that's what it is. I think it's part of this same grouping of Bigfoot pictures. Because, well, I do think it's that.
I think the head looks too big for the body.
It does. Yep, like a big old mask.
Mm-hmm.
Did my lights just flicker? Yikes.
They're coming to get you, Nikki.
I know. It's going to shut down the show. If the show shuts down, thank you, everybody, for being here. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. So this one is another one that I hadn't seen. I don't know, Joe, if you've seen this one, or Leon. But supposedly 20-inch tracks were left by this thing, which that's pretty big.
Isn't this one part of a series? This looks so familiar to me.
It does, but I didn't. This was a single photo that was posted.
Any background on that, other than the alleged, like who took it, when, where?
No, nothing.
Why only one picture? Blah blah.
Yep. Blah. What you see down there in the little black box is the only thing that was on there. Well, there was some stuff, but it was like this person was trying to say that 20-inch tracks were also found in Iowa, in Minnesota, and he had this listing of places where 20-inch tracks had been found. So that was it. But I didn't copy all that.
Any photographs of the tracks?
Nope, nothing.
That's odd.
Odd for sure.
Especially if they're gonna make a bold claim about their size.
Right. Oh, you guys remember seeing this one this week? This little girl is out there walking around, and it's a video, and I'm gonna show you the video here. She's walking, and in the background, you see something walk by twice, once, and then it goes around the tree and back out. So let me bring that up for you. Why will it not go away? There we go. Screen. Okay, this one is called this one. Okay. Ooh, you're gonna see all my messages because that's what I have up right now. Oh, my husband texted me. Okay, here we go. So, do I have the sound? Yeah, I have the sound off. Ready? Look in the background there, folks. Now look again. Did you see it? Did you see it?
I saw it.
Here it comes again. Gonna roll it one more time. To me, I'll tell you what I think. What do you guys think?
What do I think? I think it's probably a person on the hiking trail, but it's my skeptic brain. So you guys tell me what you guys are seeing.
Well, it definitely looks like the shape of a Bigfoot to me.
It looks like
but
a shadow.
it looks CGI to me. I don't think it's real. I mean, I think this one is created.
Right
See?
there?
Yeah.
It doesn't. It
That could
doesn't.
be AI.
Here we go. See how it just doesn't have that feel of.
It's so quick. I gotta tell you, on this one, I don't know, but I mean, it very much could be AI.
Right.
Oh, that one doesn't have hair in the chest.
That looks like a costume. That's what that looks like to me. And I think you're right. It's on a trail past where these guys are. There's probably a creek down behind them.
Yeah. Now it is the background story is they didn't see anything until they looked at the footage.
Yeah.
Because they don't seem to be very concerned about it.
No, they don't.
No.
Yeah, even the little girl doesn't seem to be very concerned, and it seems like she looks over like she saw movement, but
See, that looks like a shadow on the tree. That one there. That bit. It's a little better. But yeah.
That looks like a costume to me. Yeah.
It's kind of slender.
In case you see me this is a little off topic. My other laptop keeps turning on and going to different videos on YouTube. So I'm running a virus check on it right now because this happened twice. I was going to blame Jay Fritz for hacking my system, but because he always tries to hack my system with his videos. So, but it just comes on. I thought it was Bree when she was off because it's just sort of her icon. And I thought she's doing something, but her mic's off. So I thought, took off my thing and thought, oh my gosh, that's twice now. That's never happened before.
You said
so
Bree's
I don't
name, and it has Alexa or Siri on it or something, and it opened it up for you.
Yeah.
It's listening every time. Your computer's listening to you, folks.
They're always listening.
Your phones, everything. Okay,
this
so
was
that's
more convincing than the 45-foot one. I'll say that.
Yeah. Nick, can we do a favor? Just play it one more time, please.
Oh, did I get rid of it? No, there it is. Hold on.
Where was this one found, Nikki?
From
Where'd
the
you find
beginning
this one?
or online? Just surfing around. But I have seen it in several different groups. It wasn't just.
Yeah, the way the ball has that shield there, it looks like that plastic chimpanzee costume I've seen a few times.
Everybody's
for adults.
Right.
Yeah, that part right there.
Okay, and here's the part from the beginning. This is the not zoomed in part.
Honey, go over there and walk that direction. Yeah, do that. Yeah.
I'd like to point out, if anyone ever does have a real encounter, there'll be something like this where you just get a glimpse of something through the trees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tristan says it's called.
Again, my impression is probably not true, but they did a good job.
Tristan says it's called Bigfoot stalking Liana.
Of course it is.
Yeah. But do you have any info, Tristan? If you do, then let me know. Send it to me.
I've had so many witnesses tell me that they hadn't looked right at it, or if it hadn't moved, they would not have known it was there. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is Bigfoot stalking Liana.
Did anyone say where this one was taken?
I think Leanna's gonna be all right.
I think she's gonna
make
be
it.
fine. Let me see what this is.
The thing about a lot of these that are more impressive is the lack of background information. When, where, date, time, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's always a big red flag. When
There's no information on this one either.
Yeah.
That is one thing I miss about the 90s and before. Remember when cameras used to always, when they were recording, always have a time and date on them, no matter what? Good old
May
days.
16. All it says is May 16, 2021. So this is even old.
Any idea where?
It doesn't say. Oh wait, what's that? No, that's the date. No, there's nothing.
Looked like Northern California, but what do I know?
Tristan says Liana is the channel about the little girl. So I'm sure he just wanted more clicks and views for that. Fairly certain. What do I have next? I don't know. Next is, it looks like a random Randy Brissom photo. Doesn't the head kind of look like that head?
It looks like
faded out, and I did not circle that.
Okay. I am not convinced that that's real because that's not a red circle. I'm sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
What's with the
I would have
black
used a better circle. I would have used a better circle.
Looks like a tree stump to me.
Yeah.
Periodolia?
Yeah. Oh, please. You're such a negative Nancy.
Bigfoot in the news. Alrighty. I just put a piece of gum in my mouth and now I gotta do the news. So we have in USA Today, Forest Service did not issue a Bigfoot warning to Arizona campers. So on June 25th, Facebook post features an image of a warning the U.S. Forest Service supposedly posted in Arizona. Bigfoot warning reads this. I gotta take this gum out. Excuse me, one moment. Okay, it was too juicy. I couldn't do the news. So. Attention campers, due to the increased flow in the Kern River, listen to that, Kern River, the Bigfoots are coming down from the high country to feed on fish and vegetation at the river's edge. It then gives illustrations on what campers should do if they spot such creature, which includes not running from or yelling at the animal. It urges them to go about your business and take pictures. The Facebook post was shared more than 500 times in 3 days. The U.S. Forest Service said it did not issue any such warning. The agency has not confirmed the existence of Bigfoot creatures. Additionally, the Kern River is in California, not in Arizona. So we believe that this was done as a humorous gag. And if and when the Sasquatch is sighted by officials on National Forest Service lands, we'll be sure to use official Forest Service letterhead.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of those pop up, and it's almost every state. Somebody puts that up, and it's got a Forest Service thing with a little pine tree, and I've seen a bunch of those. I think I even seen one for New York that says supposedly the Forest Service DEC posted, and it's like, no, DEC did not.
Yeah, and there's another one that circulated a couple of years ago, which is, especially with all the fires, it says, depending where you're at, British Columbia and forest fire and crew come across Sasquatch footprints. So it shows this firefighter lower part and that picture of the footprint. And that was posted here. I contacted the news. I said, look, that's the same picture that's been circulating for a while. I think it was the last time it was down in Montana before. And of course, we're right north of Montana. So somebody took it there and then just changed the heading on it.
Are you sure he just doesn't take really big steps?
Really big steps all the way across the border. So,
good point. 40 foot. It could. It would take it no time, a day maybe.
Yeah.
It just took 3 strides and it was across. Yeah. Okay. So though the U.S. Forest Service did publish a tongue-in-cheek news release confirming the existence of Bigfoot on April Fool's Day in 2015, the agency has not seriously acknowledged the existence of such a creature. So that is your USA Today. And next we have, is Bigfoot real? Why people believe in Sasquatch. And this is out of Science Focus. And it states that Bigfoot is a large, hairy human creature that roams the forest of North America, or so the myths and legends tell us. The Sasquatch is entrenched into North America folklore, with many believing that they have spotted the mythical beast over the years, just like the Loch Ness Monster. Bigfoot believer Daniel Perez runs the Bigfoot Institute. Here he holds a 14.5-inch long track impression obtained from Bluff Creek, California. And the reason I brought him up is because I got my Bigfoot Times newsletter for the month. And this is put out by Daniel Perez. And it's like $20 or something for a whole year, and he sends you out all the news. So I'm going to be getting with him because I have an idea. I'd like to promote his little newsletter more, so I'm thinking of adding on another little segment when I get this and going over some of the topics. Not doing the news, you need to go purchase this yourself, but kind of hitting up some of the highlights, if you would. So
is that monthly?
It is monthly. Yeah. So it's a pretty good deal. And he highlights a lot of people. I mean, in this month's, he goes over the Forks Sasquatch Days and all of the different speakers and what they talked about. And inside, he talks about his manuscript. He's writing a book. And the new documentary from Doug Hychek. Number 2, Science meets Legend meets Science 2. He talks about that a little bit. And I hear Thomas is going to be in a coming up issue, I think.
Oh.
I just did a very long interview with Daniel for the newsletter.
Yeah, so I think that's next month. So that'll be very nice. Looking forward to that one. But so that is that. And this last one was just for fun because I thought it was funny. It's Nicolas Cage talks Bigfoot, mythical jaguars, and coming back as a whale. So this was not recent news, and I didn't know that because it was up high in the listings. It's actually from 2019, but what it says is that an interview with HuffPost, Cage discussed unleashing his inner jaguar for the role, his true feelings on Bigfoot, and coming back in another life as an orca whale.
This is a good
question,
goal.
yeah, very specific orca whale he was going to come back as. So he did say, they asked him, "What do you think about Bigfoot?" His response was, well, as much as I love the idea, I'm not of the mind that he doesn't exist. I don't think someone of that, a primate in the forest standing upright. Although you had them in history, far in the past, there were primates that looked like they were Bigfoot, or look what Bigfoot would look like. But I think that if Bigfoot did exist, we'd probably have more proof by now. And
Which
he
is
also,
a completely reasonable answer. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
He does talk about the
Except for the
chupacabra,
whale part.
chupacabra, and the Loch Ness monster as well. So I don't know if I put this one in the description. I don't think it's really worth going to look at it anyway. So that's it. Oh, this is Be on the Lookout. I don't know if you guys had seen this comparison, and I just thought it was kind of funny
I've-
to compare the Patterson Gimlin Patty to Marks, to the Ivan Marks photo. It just, I thought it was funny because of the whole eye thing, just the
Mm.
eyes peeking out. And we do know that the Ivan Marks photos were hoax and were his wife and all of that. But I just thought it was funny when I ran into it during doing some stuff, and I thought I would share it here. And this next one, I was not sure if you guys knew about the Scott Morris interview. Okay, Scott Morris is the son of Philip Morris, who owns Morris Costumes. Okay,
Mm.
and I ran across the this little interview that this guy does with him, and they talk about the Patterson Gimlin footage, and I thought I would share it with you. It's just a few minutes, so
Cool.
Question:
yes.
Is Philip Morris still alive?
I don't think so. I don't. The way he talked, he was talking about his dad, like
Okay.
it was past, but I don't know. Here we go. Share. And we will go big screen. Here we go. Oh, and I do have to make sure the audio's on this one. Okay.
And can you tell us about the Bigfoot connection?
Well, the gentleman called my dad up and said, "Hey, I'd like to use one of your grill suits." And Dad says, "Okay." He says, "Why don't you let me out? Why don't you let me try it? Why don't you send it out to me? I'll try it. If I like it, I'll send you some money." My dad says, "Well, why don't you do this? Why don't you send me the money? I'll send it out. If you don't like it, you send it back. I'll send you money back. You know." But and the next thing he knew that he didn't know anything about Bigfoot. But the next thing he knew was that Bigfoot was used in this clip, and that was our costume.
It was y'all's
Yeah.
costume. In the famous is Patterson? Is that the name?
Yeah, Roger
Yeah,
Patterson.
Roger Patterson, yes. Yeah, and the famous clip that everybody has seen for decades.
That's right.
So that's pretty much. Did you need me to do that again?
No.
Did you
No.
did you hear it? Okay.
Yep.
Whoa. Seems like it got quiet out there.
Yeah, so
The whole Philip Morris connection, the PG film, all came about when, oh God, his name's gone mad. Wrote his book,
So I mean, is he making a hard claim here? Because it sounds like yes.
The Making of Bigfoot by Greg Long.
Yeah.
Now, Greg Long wrote over 400 pages claiming that Roger Patterson created the PGF suit from dead horsehide himself. And then the very last chapter of the book, which was obviously a last-minute discovery and an add-on, he completely contradicted his previous 442 pages by saying Philip Morris made the suit for Roger Patterson, because that's what Philip Morris claimed. Now, before Greg Long's book came out, I never heard of Philip Morrison ever claiming he had anything to do with the Patterson film. You got to remember who Philip Morris was and what he did. Philip Morris was a carny. Okay, he used to make suits for those little carnival acts, you know, Zana, the African princess who converts into a gorilla before your very eyes, and you see this black woman in a Zulu outfit or something at the bars, and she stepped back into the shadows, and the people stepped a little closer. Some guy in a gorilla costume charged the bars, make everybody jump back. They even used it in a James Bond movie.
Hit the wrong button.
Yeah. And
oh, that's so interesting that you got to experience that, Thomas. That stuff was long gone before my day, so I didn't get to see.
I'm revealing my age here, but yeah. So, and then Philip Morris liked to claim that he made the suit for Roger Patterson. This whole BS story came out, and then he tried to debunk the Patterson film, and they actually gave Philip Morris a huge amount of money to say, hey, make your suit again and we'll use it. And they actually had Hieronymus wearing it. And they were so unimpressed. They said they never decided not to use any of it. They said, Mr. Morris, you did a better job in 67 based on nothing than you're doing now in the late 1990s based on your so-called own suit, you know, and they didn't fall for it. So the whole Philip Morris thing came from was this book by Greg Long. You can see it there. That's it right there. Right.
I was looking for you.
And they were so unimpressed with it. They said, no, it looks terrible. So they didn't use any of that footage in the documentary, but some of it made on the YouTube and things like that.
Looks like an alien more than a Bigfoot to me.
So basically, Morris said he made this one in 67 based on nothing, and this one he made in the late 1990s based on his own suit, and what he did in 67 was by far better, you know. But that's what Philip Morris was. He was a carny. He made all kinds of claims on all kinds of different things.
On this video I just showed you, at the very beginning, he does say that. He says exactly that his mom and dad used to she used to sew the suits, actually. And stuff. So that I do have in the description below. So if you want to see that entire video, it's just a short video. You can go watch that. So there's that suit, of course.
By the way, if you ever want to read the Greg Long book, these little post-it notes are all the things I marked, all the pages where I disagree with what he says, but there you go.
And the last thing I have to show you guys is this photo is the one you've been waiting for.
That's Bigfoot.
That's right. There's the answer, whether bears shit in the woods or not.
To all the questions, yes.
Right.
They do shit in the woods. So
bears shit in the woods. Yes, they do.
Was that really the woods, though? It seems like it's in a clearing to me.
I know. Look at that.
All right, nitpicking, nitpicking. There's
oh my gosh,
on that bear.
This was a great show. Thank you guys.
Bears drop them wherever they want. What are you going to do about it?
Who's going to stop them?
Oh gosh. Thank you guys for being here, and it was a great show. Thank you for the comments and great discussion over that whole little Independence Day footage. It's a little crazy sometimes, but we're going to do more of these and talk more about them. I think it's a good thing. And the chat, you are great as usual, but I'm going to get you guys out of here on time. So please hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe and share it to your friends and family. I don't know, somebody. Share with somebody. But you guys.
Happy birthday to Alex. It's his birthday today.
Yeah.
It's Alex's birthday. Is he here? Is
And it was
he in
just
the
his
chat?
birthday last week. So happy birthday to
last
both those
week.
guys.
I missed it. I was going to do his on and on. Hold on. I'm pushing too many buttons here. Happy birthday, Alex.
You are actually running a really tight ship, Nikki. I'm impressed. Doing the segments like that, handling the panel as well. You were doing a wonderful job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yeah, we got to get you out of here so you can get to Squatch DTV, you guys. I love you, and we shall see you in the next